Alright, gonna show you how to fit a 285 7017 spare tire underneath your 4th gen 4runner. Basically, a lot of us can't fit them under there because if you have a V8 like I do, you have the bigger hitch, and that becomes kind of a problem. You don't have a lot of room at all, even to fit, you know, one size bigger becomes kind of an issue sometimes. Anyway, so right now I'm running some Falcon Wild Peaks. They're 33s, but I ended up having I went and bought a spare, just, you know, cheap spare at a tire shop. It has about half tread life, so I figured that'd be enough. It's an E-rated tire, which I kind of didn't want, but it was such a good deal. It was like 20 bucks. So for a budget build, it's kind of the way to go, right? So anyway, in order to fit this thing, you have to do a little bit of grinding on the hitch. Not much. You're taking off like 2 millimeters, and then you're also cutting off a couple brackets, and I'll show you underneath here what it looks like. So here, if we go under here, let's take a peek. So what we have, all right. So you can see here on the hitch, basically grinded away at pretty much all these points right here. Was kind of rubbing, pretty much stayed away from the welds. And then if you go up here, this bracket took that guy off. Then if you go over to the other bracket that kind of gets in the way, the one that's just right up on top of the panhard bar over there. And so basically, by grinding off these two little guys, basically gives you enough room to shove the tire up higher, and also gives you about another 2 or 3 millimeters, moving the tire back towards the rear of the vehicle to clear, so you can clear the panhard bar. So I'll show you how that's done here in a second. Lift up the tire and throw it up there. Okay, so we're going to lift this guy up. You want to start with no air in the tire. It's basically got maybe 2 psi in it at most. Sometimes having an extra person right now would be handy. So we'll start cranking this guy up. Now what we want to do is kick the tire up here on the panhard bar first. Shove him up that like that, and you can just kind of hold it up there against it. Then with your other hand, start cranking that sucker up. And when you get over here, you want to start, when it starts getting snug, square it up against the back of the hitch. There. And just crank that sucker up like so, as if clearing the hitch. And it'll still rub up against the hitch, but it should clear the panhard bar. There we go. Nice and snug. All right. Okay, now that I got the tire up here, you do have to shimmy it around a little bit. I'll kind of show you some of this. Obviously it is tucked up tight against the hitch, very tight. Okay, then we come over here to the panhard bar. You can see that I have a good, I don't know, more than 1/8 of an inch there. But if you notice where it is up on top of where that bracket used to be up there, that bracket is gone, and the tire, I wedge it up in there so it acts as a stop. And when you air your tire all the way down, you can squish it up there and it'll stay. The only thing is that when you take your tire down, you have to let some of the air out. You can't have it full. So, and if you put your, you know, your valve stem in a place you can get to it, basically then you can fill up your tire, which I already did it earlier, pre-tested it. I can air this thing up and it'll still stay away from the panhard bar enough. Here, I'll even do it right now just to show you. Alright, that's 28, which I've run it that low before because the Toyota runs at 32. So 28, the light doesn't go on yet, but I think it 26 or 27 it does, I forget. Anyway, you lose a little bit of space, but still clears. And now it's full, snug as hell. It's definitely not going anywhere. So, anyway, like, subscribe, got it to fit.